I think one guy that I think it was ridiculous for him not to make it, and this pretty much is Jalen Brunson. And it's pretty much the same thing that Carl mentioned, where we have this situation where the second best guy ends up making the game, making the All-Star team, and the number one guy doesn't make it. I think Jalen Brunson has been the best Knick this season. I think, do we all agree with that? Randall's been great, but Jalen Brunson is the reason this team is better than what they are. Their offense is top 10 or something around there because of him. I think he's their best player. This is another situation this season where your number one player on your team doesn't make the game, but your number two guy makes the game. I thought Brunson's the snub was super bad because he's been off the chain this season,
And what some Knicks fans might debate is, Julius Randle numbers are better than Jalen Brunson's. No, but if you really look at the efficiency, is it really that much better? Even though he's averaging 2 more points, because that matters. So I'm just putting that out there. But yeah, Jalen Brunson is definitely their best player, and he's really the reason why they even staying afloat. I don't understand that either. Why I'm not going? No offense, I ain't going to game to watch Julius Randle do what he just did. I'm not. Say that. I call him Mr. Left Man. He can't go now. He can't go right.
Talking about the two-step shuffle he be doing.
If you tie his left hand behind his back, never mind. But he just can't go right.
I'm gonna say most players wouldn't be able to do anything in that situation.
I know. I thought about it.
But I'll say this: if they gave Chris Paul love, like think about this. Chris Paul comes to Phoenix. He's immediately an all-star because he makes them a better team. Now, the Knicks weren't bad as bad as what Phoenix was before Chris Paul came, but it's the same narrative. You have this point guard that comes in, makes an immediate impact, and makes you a great team. That's the same thing with Jalen Brunson. He immediately comes, has actually a lot to prove because people were wondering if he was worthy of that contract, and then plays very well for the most popular or one of the most popular franchises in basketball. With this, it's the narrative is the same. You have a point guard comes in, changes your franchise for the better, and you don't reward him for that. Now you rewarded Chris Paul. His numbers were worse when he was in Phoenix.
Yeah, they were like 15 points.
It was like 15 points and like 8 assists. I could be wrong about that. Somebody in the comments gonna say something about that.
You're pretty accurate. You're pretty accurate.
Yeah, but it's like this is 20 over 20 points, and the shooting splits are off the chain. And this is in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Tom Thibodeau thinking that Julius Randle's a better player because I don't know if you all was watching them play the Lakers the other day. Julius Randle got the ball last, even though Jalen Brunson was the hottest player on the court at that time. That shows me a lot. They gave the ball to Julius Randle, not Jalen Brunson. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know he's the best player, and especially when somebody's hot like he was that night, you just give him the damn ball at the end of the game. That was so stupid.
Yeah,
but maybe the Knicks think Julius Randle's a better player. They shouldn't, but.
Yeah, I mean anybody.
That sounds like a Knicks thing to think.
Yeah, because anybody can watch and see that this guy's clearly Julius Randle's great, and he's been an all-star and he's deserving of this. I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago. I think New York should have sent 2. I think both Randle and Brunson were worthy of it, but Jalen Brunson definitely should have made the game because he's their best player. And I'm looking at the East selections. I love Drew Holiday, and as much as I think he's a valuable player, this one was a little too I was like, y'all should have given him an all-star back in his first season with the Bucks, but it's a little too late now. Yeah, now you want to give it to him over the Knicks' new point guard.
Now you want to give him love. You look too late on that.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, watch. Okay, we on the Anthony Edwards and De'Aaron Fox train now. Watch, like, in 2 years, say they have a okay season or whatever like that, and they end up picking them over somebody new that should be in it. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They're late as hell, and then when they're late, it's a bad decision.
And it's at the expense of somebody else. Yeah, that is true. That's hella accurate. This could be, and again, Jalen Brunson did have his issues with the league because of that whole tampering thing or whatever the case may be. There was that. I'm trying to give the NBA something.
If they do it because of that, then that's kind of
hating. That's hating.
Yeah, that's hating.
Yeah, man.
I don't understand this. Like you said, so I honestly think you're right. This is the worst picks of. I'm not saying these dudes aren't good players because they are. They're just not all stars to me. This is the worst. This is the worst voting on the All-Star game ever to me.
Or they're all-stars, but they shouldn't have made the game. Like I always say this, because you don't make the game doesn't make you not an all-star. You know what I'm saying? But because even with how deep the talent is, but if we're rewarding guys by sending them to the game and letting them have that moment at that stage, Jalen Brunson and those other guys who mentioned are deserving of it. Another dude that we talked about earlier today is James Harden. He's having a career year as far as assists go. The Sixers, I think this is the best Sixers team we've seen in the Embiid era. Now we'll see how things play out in the playoffs. He's averaging 21 and 11. They're one of the top teams in the East. Why are you not letting them send out too? You know what I mean?
They don't like him, I guess. Because like you said, he's averaging double digit assists. And you said 23 points, 22,
21 and 11, yeah.
21. Like it's just like what? I don't understand. And they're almost like they're not too far from being the best team in the East.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's the crazy thing is most double digit assist guys make it. Like Tyrese Halliburton made it.
Yeah,
he's double digit. His numbers are actually almost damn near identical to James Harden's.
That's true. And Harden may be averaging more assists, and they're like 11th in the East.
And this is why it's inconsistent because I was talking about if your name is established, you're going to make it. His name is established. Tyrese Halliburton isn't. Like it doesn't. I'm not saying Tyrese Halliburton should have made it, but I'm just saying like just look at that. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And to your point, I will say I'm happy he did make it. But like I said, if we're going to give him love, the numbers are almost the same between Halliburton and Harden. You know, if I go look at Harden, it's 21 and 11. If I go look at Tyrese Halliburton's numbers, it's got to be around the same. You know, Tyrese Halliburton has to be averaging like, 20 and 11. And he missed a good chunk of games, especially over his last few. Tyrese Halliburton's averaging 20 points and 10 assists. And he hasn't played Yeah. And they're 10th in the East. And he missed a huge chunk of games.
10th in the East, and they're potentially probably not going to make the play-in. That's a possibility. And you don't pick a dude that's averaging the same numbers. That doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I really don't.
Oh my God.
I would have loved to sit in on some of these meetings and just see like what goes into these decisions.
What y'all doing?
Bro, it's not even that you're not picking a dude that's not established. You didn't pick James Harden.
Yeah.
I know he's not the same James Harden, but I'm just saying Paul George not the same Paul George. You picked his ass.
He sure isn't.
Tell me what the difference is. And I don't care if Paul George's numbers a little bit better or whatever by points. In terms of impacting the game and being there, James Harden has had a better season than Paul George.
Facts. Let me ask you this, Carl, because we and Blake, I know Blake's, Blake loves his guys in Chicago, but should DeMar DeRozan? I know he's averaging 26, but they're not good. The Bulls aren't good. And I wouldn't have given DeMar DeRozan a look just off of the fact that the Bulls have probably been the most disappointing team in the last 2 seasons. So do you guys think DeMar should have been? It's 26 a game, but do you guys think DeMar should have been voted? Because I'd argue that I would have put Harden over DeMar. And I would have put our other guy, Jalen Brunson, over who do we say? Who else do we say? I would have put Jalen Brunson over Drew Holiday.